Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunburned Plays Ace Attorney Trilogy episode 59. We're probably gonna do that thing where it's to be continued 3 minutes into this episode, so let's not waste any time. Well, I think we've gathered about all we can. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? Oh, Pearls. She looks so worn out by all this. She hasn't slept at all and has been walking all over the place with me today. What's wrong, Mr. Nick? Let's go back to the office for a little while. You're really tired, right? Oh no! I'm okay, really. I'm fine. I really am. You don't look fine to me. Well, let's go then. Maybe we'll get another call. So, what now? Well, we did find one thing out for sure. Miss Andrews has a motive. You mean Miss Impax's suicide note? That's right. She was also the one to discover the victim's body. Clever. Dude, are we all just glossing over the fact that, we're seriously discussing case details with an 8-year-old? Ah, Mr. Nick, the transceiver! Hello? Wright & Co. Law Offices? Mr. Attorney, you're not answering a phone. Maya! Where's Maya? As I promised, I have not gone within a few feet of her this whole time. Phew. Which is why, I suppose, she is absolutely famished. What? So I suggest you win a quick acquittal, my friend. At any cost, wouldn't you agree? Wait, Maya, let me hear her! Very well. Ask my... Maya, is that you? Sis, ask my sis! Maya, damn it, he cut me off! Mystic Maya said, ask my sis, didn't she? Sis? What does she mean by that? Come on, Phoenix. You're a hopeless one. Sorry. Ah! Oh. Mia! I have a message from Maya, so come, ask me anything you want about her. How's Maya? She's safe, for now. That kidnapper is one to keep his word, it seems. I'm glad to hear she's safe. But Mia, how did you know? As soon as she was locked up, Maya called for me. I read the note she left. Then I gathered as much information about her surroundings as I could. I didn't know you could use spirit channeling like that. Pretty smart of her. The kidnapper, what's he like? I don't know. Apparently, Maya went to answer a phone call at the hotel and was drugged there. And? She didn't see the face of her attacker. Ugh. Maya is locked up in a very dark place right now. I'll tell you everything I heard when I was with her. When you were with her? I'm starving. I could really go for some apple pie. I mean, at a time like this, sweets are the only way to go. I have to stay positive. He promised he wasn't going to kill me. I'm not going to die. Sis, I wonder if you're with Nick right now. Huh? Someone dropped a card here. It kind of looks like a business card, but there's no name on it. It's a picture of a seashell, I think. What a strange card. What's this? Feels like there are a lot of glass bottles here. And these, they feel like barrels. I'll pass. Too bad I'm really hungry and not really thirsty. There's all sorts of things piled up here, but it's too dark to see. Is it, though? Is there not a huge, giant light right here? Trat, it's locked. But this door's lock seems easy enough to open. On TV, the hero always uses a plastic card, or a stiff piece of cardboard. Then click, they magically open the door. I wonder if there's a card like that around here I could use. Ah, that's it! This shell card! If I use this, maybe I can get the door open. This might be my key out of here. I had a feeling this card might be useful. I'm such a genius! Alright, now if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper. I did it! Okay, now I'm getting the heck out of here. I shouldn't keep Nick waiting, or worried. Yeah, as if that wasn't left for her completely on purpose. Ooh, 5 minutes. Not quite 3 minutes, but, you know, we made it. Okay. Let's keep it going. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way! That woman couldn't do anything like that! In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Who's that? Oh, okay. Mia, we must get a complete acquittal today. I know, but I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Beep, 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 beep. It's him. This is right. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. Complete wrong accent. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. Fucking... Dude, French is taking over my life right now. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry. People don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Ooh, I bet it's going to be in Pax's suicide note. Mr. Lawyer, dude? Who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor! Oh, yeah, whatever. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane! Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. You're... I thought he'd show up. Your Honor! We just make that his voice from now on. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Oh, Edgeworth is back. I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead metaphorically. I thought he was dead literally. Looks like we were both wrong. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. But I thought he doesn't work there anymore. On the case, at least. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Bare facts of the case. Like teddy bears. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the awards ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Well, we're gonna press some stuff. Probably press the guitar case part the most. After the Hero of Heroes awards ceremony, yeah. The victim was found dead in his hotel room, yeah. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sure. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar, and we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... What? The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory, then. Empty. There is some water, but only on the top of the lid. Bears Carita's fingerprints. I mean, he could have opened it, and somebody else could have taken it afterwards. The case was open at the end. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Carita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel? Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. Our first order of business should be to gather more info from his testimony. But there might be a trap set up for us somewhere. Maybe. However, setting off traps is a part of a lawyer's job too. If you say so. Of course, we're supposed to escape from them too, wouldn't you say? Alright, let's keep it going then. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m., and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. Victim was found dead in his hotel room. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt On Guard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. On Guard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I I see. And that's when she found the victim's body. The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Kurita was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good, hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here, to this bandana. Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. What the fuck? Then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. Yeah, I told you that knife was bogus! I just thought the bandana was part of his costume, though. It didn't really look like he was strangled. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Okay, strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why, then, did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Matt on guard and Juan Kurita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off of the ninja's costume and was found in Mr. On Guard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. Really? He bought a gold silverware knife that doesn't even look sharp? Dude, that's a fucking butter knife. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. There's the victim's blood and on guard's fingerprints. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved. Well, then he didn't buy the knife. It's a hotel knife. The Gatewater Hotel's where they were staying. We can easily contradict that, at least. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know what the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. We know that, the blood. Yeah. What? Jammin' Ninja's button ripped from his costume, covered in Corda's blood, found in On Guard's hakama. And for what purpose would you rip this off? First of all, if he was choked to death first, and then stabbed, they took the button after they stabbed his dead body, so what is the point of that? All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Gah. I don't think we need to press at all. Dry wells, yeah. As for Evans, Jammin' Ninja's button, sure, was ripped off. Yeah, okay, whatever. Defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. Defendant bought the knife for the crime. That's false. This knife says Gatewater on it, sir. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand? That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't... Oh. Yeah, he's not on the police force anymore. The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There is a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. Oh, true, true. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt on guard's knife was missing. Ugh. Mr. on guard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints, and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a Let's try that one again. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of Your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. Really? In other words, new evidence. Really? What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well... Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Okay. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? I guess. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, Wright, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence? They're giving me nothing here. And it's for the whole bar! Would it be the suicide report? I don't know if we're there yet. I assume the wine glass is not important. The court would have seen this. Like, all the stuff that's, like, logged in. I'm gonna say that it's the suicide report. Sorry, Wright, but this time your bluffing steered you wrong. I can see nothing strange about this piece of evidence. God damn it. Okay, I guess we weren't there then. Yes. Would it be the wine glass? This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. Alright, I guess I was jumping ahead, whatever. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright? Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? I mean, I would say yes, but let's review. No sign it's been drank. No. Because it's full of tomato juice, which would only have been gotten from Kurita's room. So it's like, oh, you discover the body, and then you're so shocked that you go pour yourself a glass of tomato juice and then leave it on the dresser. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then... Of course it has been thoroughly inspected, for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews. That sort of does kind of start to prove that she killed him. What? That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Gah, I can't believe I fell into another trap! Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Kurita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now do you see, right? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. Ugh. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor, and from here on out I will show you the answer I've come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Oh my god, we're real close. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Ugh. Heh. G-O-T-C-H-A. Gah. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, edgy boy, it's been what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet, it was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand?
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime.
Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know.
Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Ooh! Shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps!
Yes, madam.
No. Please, by all means, interrupt her, please.
Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something, but not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Carita.
But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night.
Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo.
Alright, what do we got?
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard. Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room.
See, it has to be him. He's the murderer.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright, let's press why she was there. Somebody I went to pace around the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out. What's that?
Something you were interested in? And just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. Ah, and Edgy Poo, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in?
I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now.
And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
Well, since I was on the job, made sure to keep a good eye. I doubt that, sincerely.
Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Carita's room?
I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am.
Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report.
In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, he was...
Yes, he was.
I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right about now.
Well, I guess I can tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was on guard. Matt on guard trying to sneak his way out of his room.
You saw my client? Are you sure about that?
Yes, see?
Really?
Annoying Brad, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person!
Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. The person's face, what the person was carrying. Let's do... clothes. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
Well, what a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters.
But it does.
Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing. That racing jacket.
Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center too.
That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men.
Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? The fact that it was his clothes, I would say it was not important. I guess it really wasn't that important after all. Mr. Wright, do you know why we say time is valuable? If not, I suggest you learn.
You've wasted 3 minutes of this woman's youth. That's more valuable than gold to me.
Why do I suddenly feel old in the presence of her childish whining? She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Alright. I say we press this again. Yeah. Tell me what they were carrying. What was the man you saw carrying?
In which hand? His right or his left? Now this is a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question.
Indeed. Please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright.
Sorry.
What was the man you saw carrying in his right hand?
He wasn't carrying anything in that hand.
Then how about his left?
Empty.
Well, this whole thing has been a lot of nothing. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? No. Let's see. Let's try the first one. And I guess we'll try and pursue that if it turns out to be anything. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail.
You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair. His sparkling, shining teeth.
His teeth were shining?
Well, he's shining all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie.
This week's pinup? Why do you... I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night.
What? On God's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whippersnapper.
So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant?
No.
Okay, let's do not important. Let's go back to her saying that he wasn't carrying anything. Saying he was carrying nothing. So which means he wasn't carrying a knife from his own room. Let's save here. And then if this doesn't work, we can always say it wasn't important and try and press something else, I guess.
Of course it was important, Your Honor.
Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say. Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than a person's pride, and that is time. Please don't waste this court's precious time with worthless questions. Yes, Your Honor. I think I just wasted his good favor. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. Oh, so that didn't even work? coming out. If there was nothing suspicious about the clothes, we didn't have the button in his hakama? Could that have been the thing? I mean, at least they're not giving me penalties for, like, going too far in here. Let's try this. Yeah, the racing jacket. But no, he was wearing his hakama! Of course it was important, Your Honor! Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright. Witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must... Wearing his flashy racing jacket, but that's... not true, because of the button being found in the hakama. Because he was wearing his hakama, whatever that is. Miss Oldbag. What? Don't say my name for no reason! Do you know what this is? Ah, it's button number 2 on the Jammin' Ninja's costume! Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here! Give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this! Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. On Guard's body during a full-body search. See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal on guard. It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants. See? See? And on guard is the nickel samurai. Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt on Guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, then maybe you'd think I was, but instead I have to put up with wearing this ridiculous looking outfit. This outfit's hideous, right? I've got a tape recorder stuck to my chest. It's heavy. So heavy that I just gotta keep the dream alive for all those kids. Understand? Now take a look in the mirror. Your clothes are documentary on curling. You should take a tip on it. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. On Guard, the man, but Mr. On Guard, the nickel samurai? But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. All right, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. All right. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.